Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and today I have got our Simon Says Stamp March kit of the month, and I've got a picture for you with a better view of the products, but you can see we've got a stamp set, a die, perfect pearls, some card, paper, and it's a really pretty pad actually. I love all the yellows and stuff, it's really nice, and matching cardstock obviously. And this is a lovely pearlescent 6x6 piece of cardstock. Now as you can see, I've been hacking into this, so I used to say I did put a photo on my blog post that goes with this, so if you want to have a better look of the kit before I started pulling it to bits, then click the link to go to my blog post. Okay, so we're starting off with two pieces of card that I cut from the bigger pieces, and this is a 6x6 pale grey, and then I cut the yellow 6x7 and scored it at 1 inch on the 7-inch side. Now these are my easy peasy card, so again, if you go to the corresponding blog post, click the link for that. I have a video that shows you in much more detail how I do my easy peasy card, and basically it's to make any size card that you want. So now I've cut these and scored it, what I'm going to do is obviously stick that down there, but before I do that, what I want to do is use my die to go across here and create a row of little circles. So I'm going to be using my Sizzix Big Shot. I like using this because it's got the magnetic plate apart from anything else. So I've got my magnetic plate, my acrylic plate, my card, and then I'm going to place my die just into the centre of my grey here from side to side, and then I'm going to check that the holes are in the right position vertically, so that when it's placed over the yellow you still see the yellow through it, because obviously if I go too far down the grey then the yellow won't show through, it's just going to be empty gaps. So I'm just checking that that's all fitting correctly. So then I'm putting my other acrylic plate on and just winding that through to cut that out, and as you can see it cuts out beautifully, and you've got all the little dots as well, so that's kind of cool. But you can now see what the effect I was going for, because you can see now how the yellow from the fold is just showing through that grey, which is kind of cool. So I'm just using my Cosmic Shimmer here just to stick the two pieces together, because it's a nice strong glue, and since it is a card base we do want to make sure that it's going to stick together and stay stuck. Okay, so there's our card, and you can see it stands up beautifully now. So the next thing that we've got is a piece of the patterned cardstock. It's a gorgeous black damask which was cut at 5 3/4 by 5 inches, and I'm just going to stick that down again with my Cosmic Shimmer. It's just my favourite glue, I really like this glue, and it just really adheres everything nice and firmly down. But you can use any of your favourite glues for this, it's just a paper so it's not too heavy. So we're just going to pop that down. Then I'm going to get the gorgeous yellow piece, and this is a really pretty piece, but I've just cut this as a square of 5.5 by 5.5, and obviously as you can see it was a lot bigger than one direction than it needed to be, but that's because I wanted to tear it using that lovely tearing ruler, and then just go around the edges with a distress tool just to distress these edges and give it a really sort of vintagey feel. And I think that's going to go really nicely with my image that's going to be going over the top of this paper and cardstock. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this beautiful Silky Crush ribbon to this piece of yellow. So the reason I'm doing it now is so that I can just tuck these ends out the way behind the lovely yellow. Now this beautiful Silky Crush ribbon you can actually get in my store, so just a little plug for myself there. I'm just going to be using here my tape pen, and this is just to stick the ribbon behind the yellow, so just tuck the ends behind and stick it down, and then we can stick the whole of the yellow piece of paper, ribbon and all, down onto the black, and so that then keeps all those little ends out the way, nice and neat. And obviously it makes it a lot easier to hold it in place by doing it that way, but I think most of you probably know that method anyway by now. So then I just use the tape pen to stick the whole thing down on the back, and I think that just looks so pretty. I'm really pleased with how the bow turned out as well. So the next thing I need to do is add my topper, and we are using one of the journaling cards. Now the journaling cards are 3 inches by 4 1/4, and then I'm matting it onto a piece that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Now I'm going to stick it up at the top edge of that mat, which just makes a feature of that larger area of grey at the bottom, and I just think that will look really nice. And again, I'm just using my Cosmic Shimmer to pop that down. So the plan was to make this kind of like a tag, so that was why I kind of put that up the top. And now I'm getting my crocodile, and I'm going to add an eyelet to the top, and through the eyelet I'll put a little bit of ribbon. And again, this is just to create that sort of look of a tag with this. So I'm going to punch it with the larger hole punch, and just popping that through and just going by eye really, as to the position, which perhaps in hindsight wasn't such a good idea, because as you can see it's just very slightly off to the left. But anyway, not to worry. And then I'm going to use one of the silvery eyelets just to, again, to go in with the grey. I would have liked a more antique-y silver, but I just didn't have that, unfortunately. So now I'm going to just use my crocodile and pop that through and give it a good squeeze to just seal that eyelet, and I think that looks really nice. And I think that once I put the ribbon through, it's not going to really notice that it's over to the left slightly. So I've just popped that through, and then this was just a little scrap of ribbon that I had, so it's why it's so short. And then I'm just popping that through the loop, and then just giving it a pull, a little tug, and then I'm just going to tidy those edges up where I've been pulling at the ribbon and it's just slightly frayed, and I'll just cut those edges off and make them nice and neat. So then I'm just going to stick that down, but I wanted it to have some height, so I'm going to use my glue gel, which is my very favourite glue, as you know. So, and again with that I get asked a lot. If you're interested in that, I sell it on my site. So again, sorry to give a plug to my site, but I'm always being asked about this, so do go on over there. And again, if you go to the blog post that goes with this video, all the links for all of the products used, including the Simon Says stamp, everything will be on there for you. So now I'm put that down, and what I want to do is take a blob of my glue gel and pop it under the center of my bow. And this is going to add for 2 reasons. One, just to hold that in position, but also because I'm going to add some stick pins into there, and then the glue gel will hold them in position. So I'm going to use 2 pearl stick pins, and again these are ones that I sell. I'm sorry, I'm sounding rather like an infomercial today, but I think the best thing is to go onto the site and you'll see what products have come from where. But anyway, I'm popping these stick pins in, and I just love these, which is why I bought them into the store, because I just thought they were so gorgeous. I just adore these pearl stick pins, and I think that just looks so pretty. And then I'm going to take my pearl dazzler, again another item that's in my store, sorry, and just pop a piece of glue gel on the back of that, just a nice big blob, and pop it down over the center of the bow. And I just think that really gives a lovely finishing touch to that bow, and really the whole card. I think it just brings it all together, and I'm really pleased with how that's looking. So then the next thing I'm doing, I'm just adding 3 little pearls to the bottom of that tag, and again this is just to link everything up now, because otherwise we've got kind of pearls just in that one place and it isn't all cohesive. So that's why I'm doing that. And then I'm just softening that top piece by putting 2 pearls in those corners, and I'm using the little holes as a guide really to use as the place to put them, and then matching that up with 2 more at the bottom of my card. So that's the front finished, and just off camera I did add some to the inside. I just took a piece of the pattern cardstock and ripped a little off the bottom there, and I think that just adds a little something. And then I had some scrap of the grey which matches our card's base up the top there, and I just added that to the middle there, which means it gives somebody somewhere to write, and the whole thing just adds some stability to the back of the card because the front is quite weighty. So I always like to do that just to balance things up. But anyway, that is our finished card. So I hope that you like the card. I hope that you've enjoyed making it with me. And I would love to hear your comments. And if you have enjoyed it, I'd love you to thumbs up this video. And also don't forget to go across to the blog post where there'll be much more information and photographs and also product links, etc. for you. So as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. And I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
I'll visit every Wednesday, our imaginary hey boy, we'll see you soon. Mascara all but me and you. Time whispers into my ear and overwhelms petty fears. He speaks so sweet, he says, you'll get days that equal years, travel back to Navy Pier. Won't we, dear, everywhere that you dare.